When you're mean to yourself, when you're hard on yourself, you no longer know what your best is. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Welcome if you're coming back. I've got no real plan for this video. I didn't take any notes for this. I'm at Mom and Dad's sitting out here with the chickens, so if you hear them. But God has kind of laid something on my heart in the last 24 hours or so that's really important to me that I feel like He wants me to share. So oftentimes I have this idea in my head, a video that I want to make, and sometimes I really think that I've got to plan it, and I think maybe sometimes I overthink it. I feel like in the last 6 or 7 weeks I've come up with some really good, not just good topics, but topics that I think might help people. If you've been on the channel, you've seen me talk some about stress and anxiety and worry and things like that. So I have kind of these topics I think that God lays on my heart, and then I kind of get in the way because I try to overthink it. I try to plan it. I try to think, oh, I've got to say all these things. So I didn't want this video to be that way. I just wanted to turn on the camera and just go. I do want to say that whether you are a believer or not, I think this will be good advice for anyone who struggles with this issue. So whether you're a believer or not, just stick around, and I hope that I will be able to say something that helps you. So I've titled this video, When Things Are Never Enough, because this is an issue that I have really struggled with lately. And in some ways, this is kind of a hard video for me to make because it feels kind of really personal, and I guess that's hard for anyone to share their personal thoughts and issues with potentially the world, with whoever is going to watch this YouTube video. I would say maybe I've always been like this a little bit, but in the last maybe year or so, this issue has just blown up and been something that I have seriously struggled with. So what do I mean when I say when things are never enough? First of all, I want to preface this with I'm a super happy person. I feel like I'm grateful, not that I couldn't be more grateful, but I feel like I'm grateful every day. And when I wake up, I'm like, wow, God's blessed me with another day to live. Here I am, healthy, well, I have a wonderful family, wonderful home, husband, dog. I'm super happy. And I just have not been able to figure out, why do I keep feeling like things are not enough? So let me tell you what I mean by that. I think people can experience this in a variety of different ways, but for me, it kind of has to do with tasks. So I'll give you some examples. Maybe I have a video that I'm going to film, and I film a video, and after the fact, maybe even after it's published or after I edit it, I think, you know, I really could have done better. I could have said this, I could have said that, I could have wore this, I could have had this kind of lighting, I could have filmed it in this location. It's just not enough. I could have done better, okay? Maybe I cook a meal and I think, you know, that's so-so. I really could have cooked something that was better for me and Austin. It just really wasn't very good. Maybe I go somewhere and I say, you know, I don't know. I don't really know if I enjoyed that. You know, it's like I always have to, I don't want to say find something wrong with whatever the task is, but I guess that's what it is. It's like it just never can be enough. I'm a very big to-do list kind of person. So maybe I have 3 things on my list to do for the day. Maybe I do 5 things. I get 2 extra done. I'll somehow find a way to say that's not enough because I really probably should have spent my time doing these other things. So you can see this issue is not good. It really steals your peace of mind, and it has just absolutely plagued me. And to be honest, it has just kind of snowballed and got a lot worse in the last couple months. And I just keep coming up against this issue and thinking, but I'm praying, I'm reading my devotional, I'm using my common sense and my reasoning. Why do I keep coming up against this issue? And maybe you're not a believer, but maybe you're having this issue and you're just thinking, you know, why am I like this? I'm using these strategies that I know will help. I'm using my common sense. I'm making this list. I'm doing these certain things, and then that should make me happy. If I get those done, that should be enough. I was speaking to a friend yesterday, and this is something that I've heard before. This is something that you've heard before, but something about what they said must have been the right time and the right place for it to really get through to me. And after struggling with this for probably the last year, at least, I really feel like this was what kind of fixed it all for me. It was just a ginormous realization. And the realization was, if you're mean to yourself, if you talk down to yourself, if you say, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, this is not enough, I could have done more. When you are mean to yourself, you create the kind of atmosphere where things will never be enough. When you beat up on yourself, you take away your ability to distinguish, is this really enough? Did I really do my best? Could I have done more? You completely take away your ability to even see the good things that you've accomplished if you're mean to yourself, if you talk down to yourself, if you're hard on yourself. We all talk down to ourselves and are hard on ourselves in some form or fashion. Now, it's not bad to be a driven person. There needs to be balance there. Your best should be your best, should be your 100%. And my 100% is not going to look like your 100%, and vice versa, and so on and so forth all the way down the line. But I truly feel if you're hard on yourself, if you're mean to yourself, that almost creates like another alternate person within you somewhere that's mean. And you're almost living with an abusive person. From a spiritual standpoint, I think that's the devil just trying to get on you and make you think that you're worthless, make you think that you can't do anything. If you have that kind of mean spirit in you that's working against yourself, if that makes sense, that completely takes away your ability to see anything, to see the good things that you accomplish, whether that's tasks or a conversation with a friend or a loved one or a relationship or any kind of thing that you're going to do on a daily basis. So having this realization, I feel like has kind of exploded my mind in a good way, and I think that this may take me several days, maybe several weeks, even months to fully process. But I really feel like now I have the key to get to the very exact root of why things never seem to be enough for me. And now I feel like I can pull those roots out once and for all. And I'm sure you've heard your friends or your family say, just do your best. And that is more than enough. My friend also yesterday told me the words, oh, I just don't want to let this person down. They said, remove that from your vocabulary. And I think that was a very good tip, because again, if you're working from the mindset of, I'm going to let someone down, that brings on that, well, things are not enough. I'm not doing enough for that person. I'm going to let someone down. That degrades your personal best, whatever that is, whether you're completing a task or anything else. That's just another thing that will kind of completely degrade that. You just have to do what you can. And are you ever walking around feeling like, well, you know, this person over here, whether it's your friend, your neighbor, whoever, you know, they really not done right by me? No. No one, for the most part, is ever thinking that. In your daily interactions with your friends, with your family, co-workers, whoever it might be, are you really thinking, they're not that great of a person, they could do this? No. And would you ever talk to someone like you talk to yourself and tell someone else they're dumb, they're stupid, they're ugly, they're this, they're that, whatever it is you tell yourself? Would you say that to someone else? No. I mean, I hope not, but probably not. So why would you talk to yourself like that? You talk to yourself more than you talk to anyone else, because we have this inner dialogue. Another issue that can arise from being mean to yourself is it causes you to, or at least it has for me a little bit, it's caused me to look around at other people. Maybe it's someone else on YouTube who's making videos, maybe it's another guitar player, and almost subconsciously compare myself to them and immediately think, you know, I'm not enough, this is not really enough, I can't play guitars as good as this person, or my videos aren't as good as that person. And I think that everyone is likely to compare themselves to someone else. I think that's a very normal human trait. You're more likely to do that, or I think that I am, especially if you have that mean dialogue going, that inner critic. That makes you more likely, because that, again, breaks your self-confidence down, breaks down your ability to see what really is your best and to see what is really your good traits. That mean person living within you is just spouting negative blah all the time. So now that I feel like I have the answer to why things are not enough for me, how do I stop being mean to myself? How do you stop being mean to yourself? There's neural pathways in the brain. I'm sure you've probably heard about that before, but it's just like a path, just like from here to the house. The more you walk it, the more worn it gets. If we stopped walking that path, me and my family, today, it might take years for the grass to grow back. So depending on how long you've had that mean inner critic, maybe it'll take a long time to reverse the patterns, but you just have to start today. So I think this is going to be maybe hard for me because I am so hard on myself, but I'm a big believer in thought patterns and in believing in the neural pathways. So my advice for anyone, and advice to myself, every time those thoughts come up where you want to be mean to yourself or say, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I could have done it like this, I could have done it like that, how about just thank yourself? How about find 3 good things about you and list them? Break that habit of being so negative on yourself, however you have to do that. And you can even think of it as a super mean person that you have to confront every day. Are you going to let that person be mean to you, even though it's kind of your inner self? Are you going to let that person talk down to you and talk ugly to you? What if you had to see someone on the street every single day? You might ignore them for a while. Some people probably wouldn't, right? They would right off the bat say, excuse me, you can't talk to me like that. But if you had to see someone on the street who talked to you like that every single day, after a while, you would just lose it. You would lose your patience and say, hey, this is not happening anymore. And you can do the same thing with the kind of mean spirit that you have in yourself. I think that's one of the biggest ways, is just breaking that habit. Every time the negative, mean stuff tries to bubble up, tell it no. But another way, and this is something that I was reading in my Bible this morning, and I've read this passage before, but it really kind of spoke to me this morning, so I just wanted to share a little bit of that in closing before I end this video. So this is out of Psalms 139, and I'm just going to read a few verses here. First, I'm going to read verses 1 through 4, and it says, O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my down sitting and mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. Then verse 5, Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. So to me, that brought me immediate comfort, because that reminds me that God knows. He knows everything there is to know about me. He knows that I have this issue with this kind of mean spirit living in me, trying to be hard on myself, trying to be mean to myself. He understands. And I really love verse 8. If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. So if I'm ascending into heaven, to me, that kind of means maybe I'm having a day where I am feeling really positive and I don't have that mean spirit. Or maybe I've made my bed in hell and I'm having a tough day with that mean spirit. He is still there at either end of the spectrum. And then it goes on in verse 10 and says, Even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. He knows and he understands, and he promises us right here, even there shall thy hand lead me, his hand lead us, and his right hand shall hold me. So he's going to be there no matter what. And of course there's many Bible promises all throughout the Bible that we can cling to, so you can find the ones that comfort you the most. 2 more verses here at the end. 23 and 24 of this Psalms 139. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. I think that those 2 verses, I think that can be a prayer in and of itself, just asking God, search me and know me. Help me find these parts that are mean-spirited. Help me surrender that and get rid of that. I don't want to get too long-winded here, But I hope that you have got something from this video. I felt God so strongly laying this on my heart, and I think we're all going to struggle at some point with feelings of, are we enough, or is this or that enough? But you don't want to get to where that kind of controls you, kind of where I've been, and that's not pretty. It really takes away from your joy, and it really doesn't have to be like that. And I'm so thankful that I had that friend who kind of helped me understand your best is your best, and that's something that you really need to guard and keep safe. And remember, most importantly, you're enough because God thinks you're enough, because God made you in his image and he loves you, and he sent his only son to die on the cross for you. So with just that alone, you're enough. And think about all your family and friends that love you and think that you're enough. And you trust them, right? I trust my parents and my family with my life. So if they tell you you're enough, and they do all kinds of things to show that to you and that they love you, then you're enough. Drop a comment and let me know what you think, any kind of feedback. The comments are such a wonderful place to just kind of share in community and share our thoughts with each other, and I think that helps everyone. I know it helps me. So thank you again for watching. God bless and God keep you, and I will see you at the next video.